So I come from a background of sales. So I'm not afraid from a business context to ask for what I want. Even this interview, like, I think this interview, was like a year in the making because me and you always just had different stuff to do. But from that perspective, I'm fine with asking. I'm fine with rejection. But when it came time for me to text peers and friends to ask them to promote my book that they would happily do, it was like driving nails through my freaking eyelids.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was being a burden. And my aunt was actually the one that got me through this. She had a really cool quote, and I want to let you riff on this and see if you went through this yourself. But I felt like I was being a burden because all I do is give to people. Like you make that, you provide value, you give content, you do all this stuff, and you help people. But then when it comes time for you to make the ask, I was just like, oh, no, this is different than business. These are my people. But my aunt said, okay, well, if you don't ask, you're directly denying others their joy of giving. And I said, damn, Jane, I'm going to send some more DMs. And that's literally what kept me sending my last 1,000 DMs for the book launch, asking for those reviews, asking for that different stuff. I'm curious if you ran into that or if you've had any advice that you can give on building and development of the ask muscle that you talk about in the book.
Yeah, it's congratulations. I want to congratulate the 5,000 sales of your book is more than almost everyone.
Which is, and I feel more than, and I want to say this publicly, I feel like it was awful.
I was going to shout it out from passive to passionate.
Yeah.
Most people just never make the first sale.
Yeah. I was like, I will individually text for these 5,000 sales.
Yeah. Everyone has 150 contacts in their phone. If you go on your phone right now and you go on your contacts, you can see the count. And everyone has at least 150. And those 150 have someone else that could be also your customer. And the biggest thing with asking that people don't recognize, there's two things that people are so shocked about. Number one, it's a skill that's learnable. Business is the only thing you don't have to be tall in to succeed. It's the only thing. Like every other sport, you have to be born something.
Yeah.
Every other sport. With business, though, they're all skills that you can become fluent in, just like a language. Like I took a Spanish class this morning. There's business classes, and you don't have to go to Harvard. There's like your book, my book, where you can become fluent in making money. And asking is the same thing as learning a language. That the more you practice it, the better you get at it. So that's one thing people don't recognize is that it's a skill that you develop. It's not that me and Brian are expert askers. We've just done it a lot.
A lot.
Now, the other thing that people don't ever recognize in asking is it is the basis of our civilization.
Deep.
Think about that. I know it's deep, but it's also when you start reflecting on it. Do you have a wife or girlfriend? Or
No.
Not yet?
Not at the moment, yeah.
Not yet.
I will.
Yet. Positivity.
And we're going to hit on that with you here in a second.
Okay, we'll talk about optimism. I think optimism is it's infectious, but it's also available worldwide. Now, asking is everything. So I had to ask my girlfriend for a date. You have to ask someone to be your wife. You have to ask for a raise. You have to ask, let's say you're a business operator, for someone to work with you. You have to ask someone to be your customer. You have to ask someone for a review. Everything is an ask. And the more that you start realizing, let me practice this and maybe I'll get a rejection. And rejection to me is always a test if you want something. But it's also rejection, maybe a lot of the times it's not rejecting you, it's rejecting the actual thing.
It's not personal at all.
It's not. They just don't want it.
Never was.
And that's okay. And then you start doing it over and over again. You start realizing like, holy shit. And in the book, I teach the coffee challenge, which is getting rejected, asking for a discount at Starbucks. You ask for 10% off, and you're supposed to get rejected, realizing, and everyone goes and does this, changes their life. Changes their life. Because you can repeat it over and over. You can do it unlimited times. And the other part of that, you realize like it's never as scary as you think, and you could do a lot more. And confidence is built through courage, and courage is built through action. And I'm noticing, it's not something like I've done YouTube videos now where I've stood outside an airport, I've stood outside a yacht, a marina in Miami. I've stood outside. I've gone to people's houses, and I've gone on the streets. It's uncomfortable every time. It doesn't get easier. You just get better, and you keep asking and asking. And now I'm seeing people. There's a guy, Ben, who I told you about earlier. Literally this morning, he's like, yeah, I sent an email to my friends about, I think it was a web design service he's trying to do or some type of business. I didn't even read that part. And he's like, I got 7 sales just because I asked. He's like, I don't have a website. I don't have a domain. I don't even not that active on social media. You can get big wealth with small audiences. And I think people don't realize it's all comes down to the ask. Like another great example, her name is Mackenzie. She lives here in Austin. She has a day job, like a lot of your audience, and she wanted to get the hell out of her day job. She didn't want to wonder, what if? She didn't want to wonder if she never took the chance on herself, which everyone can do. And so she just sent an email to her friends and family and asked if they want to buy greeting cards. Turns out she sold $50,000 of them in 1 year, just by one light ask that started it all.
Dude, I want to hit on this real quick because this is so important. Everyone gets this ass backwards, which is the importance of asking people, since we're speaking about asking, the importance of asking people what the hell they want. Because how many people do you know, because I can name hundreds, that have like toiled for months and years building this business, building this startup, building this service in secret, in silence, so that they can launch it, but they never even asked anybody if they wanted it. So can you give some advice about anybody that may be in that situation and what the hell they should do instead? Because you talk about in the book about validating the problem and asking, because there was a quote that you said something where it's like the most dangerous thing is not validating the actual problem itself.
Yeah. No ask, no get. You know, it's just hope at that point.
Hopium.
And here's the problem with most people. And if you're out there and you've been wanting to start a business and you're at $0, try another way. But the reality, I've seen literally tens of thousands of people I've worked with and talked to, they're committed to their path. So my thing is go on your path. Keep going. And maybe try my way as well. If you're going and you haven't made your customers, you haven't made your dollars, how can you validate that people actually want things right away? Because I think when people see me, they're like, holy shit, your company's making this much money. You're making millions of dollars a year. You've done these things. You don't know all the things that did not work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the 20 different businesses I've tried that no one ever wanted. And so I've learned that you don't need to go and build all these things to find if the problem you're solving actually has significant demand. And I've seen it because people go out and they're like, hey, people have families, people have kids, people have day jobs. Maybe they got their thing going. They don't have a lot of time. And so if you're spending a lot of time doing all the things that don't lead you to where you want to go, you need to fix it. Mm-hmm. And so specifically what I've seen with $1 Million Weekend is people are like, hey, I tried this business I've seen like food, I've seen health, I've seen e-commerce, I've seen SaaS, all of it, every business. Hey, I tried to hit up some people in my network. I posted it on marketplaces. I sent some texts. I posted in a WhatsApp group. No one wanted it. And I'm like, hell yes.
That's a win.
That's a great thing. You didn't spend 6 months and 6 years or $6,000 doing nothing. Okay, great. Ask them why not. Really? Yeah. How come they don't want it? And guess what? They'll tell you. And then maybe they'll tell you that you can solve it, or they'll tell you another example. There's a woman I met recently, Kim. Kim has a flowers business in Canada. And she sent out a Black Friday email to her. She has a small email list. And she sent an email and no one bought her Black Friday deal. It was like end of the holidays, Black Friday. And I was like, all right, well, did you ask them why not? She's like, no. I was like, okay, so this was about a month ago. I said, Kim, right now I need you to leave me. I need you to go away from me. I want you to send an email and I want you to call these people and say, hey, I'm just curious. I'd love to learn. That's the exact phrase I always use. Just curious, love to learn. How come you weren't interested in buying? And then she has a inbox
immediately.
And then she gets on the phone or she emails them back and she's now making sales. And she's making sales from these people because now she's learning why they didn't buy. Maybe they don't want the payment plan because you had to pay all at once. Maybe they don't like the type of flowers. Maybe they didn't like the boxes the flowers comes in. So she starts just adjusting or understanding and then able to close those different customers by finding problems people want. Like there's a thing that people get backwards. You said about scale. Everyone knows this shit, but no one does it. Mm-hmm. Paul Graham quote, make something people want.